when you come to the Grossmorn hiking area, after a long day of hiking, a great spot to stay is either Rocky Harbour or Norris Point. Beautiful vistas, as you can see, awesome. You can see the tablelands over here. That's where the Earth's mantle is breaking through the crust due to a unique geological history, which you can learn about when you're here. Also, there's a research station, a aquarium, like a biological research aquarium that is open to the public, but also there's aquatic scientists there doing research. Really cool, unique aquatic life there you can view. And there's awesome bed and breakfasts here, cute places. There's a nice coffee shop, gift shops, all that kind of thing. And actually, there's a ferry. When you get down to the bottom of the road, it's about 4 kilometers that way. There's a cute ferry at the bottom with a nice, it's well organized. It's a tourist ferry, but some local people use it too. It'll bring you across into Trout River. When you're in Trout River, there's also a cute town there. You can go shopping for the day, do some fun things. You can't take your car on the ferry. It's just a passenger ferry. So it's mainly for going across, going shopping. If you actually get back on the highway and drive to Trout River instead of taking the ferry, when you're over on that side, there's lots of hiking too. So if you come here to enjoy some of the outdoors activity, I would definitely check out Norris Point, Rocky Harbour. Check on all the destinations here are really amazing. They have high quality bed and breakfasts, new, chic, really nice. You do your hike at Grossmorn, check out Trout River. There's a nice trail called Green Gardens there, which is about a 10-kilometer loop along the ocean. And you get views of puffins and whales, icebergs, all that kind of thing. So lots to see here. And even if you just want to hang out and contemplate the view, you could definitely do that too. Read a book, enjoy the vistas, and fresh air, moose, just perfect. So we thought we'd show you a little bit closer look so you can actually view beyond us here. This is Norris Point, and if you look across the water, it's just a very short trip on the ferry. Those houses over on that side, that's Trout River. And there's old historic buildings there that some of them have been relocated. They have theater. You can see here in the sign they're showing some of the restaurants, people exploring the waterways by kayak. Looks amazing. I really want to do that. Here's some kids enjoying looking at the sea life. And here, the live music, like theater, live music is really great here too. Both in Rocky Harbour and in Norris Point. So great spots. You could come to Western Newfoundland and spend a solid week in this one area here, taking in all kinds of different things: restaurants, theater, music, hiking, kayaking. It's endless, really. So, and this is just one stop. Newfoundland is a huge place, so we recommend when people come here to plan ahead. And perhaps don't plan on seeing it all in one shot unless you have a good 2 weeks and you plan it and you're lucky with the weather and so on. Then it's possible, but there's just so much to really see here. So if you come to the western part of Newfoundland, you can see all these parts. And the eastern part of Newfoundland, you can certainly drive there. And that's one way to do it. Or you could separate that into a whole other trip because there's that much to do here. If you are thinking of planning, give us a shout, contact us through any of the social media platforms, and we can connect you with planners here who can give you the best taste of everything if that's what you want, or if you want to kind of focus more on the adventure tourism or one side of things, that's also a good way to do it too. So you can talk to us, or we'll put you in touch with local planners, and you'll have a great time either way. So, as you can see, the views here are just absolutely stunning as well. This water is super deep. There's some unique marine life here. This is why you have the aquarium here. It's so deep that it's actually temperature stratified, and the upper layer of water circulates with ocean water, but down below it's more stagnant and you have these weird things, you know, like those things that grow in the sub-ocean vents, those weird worms and things like that. You get that here too. Like these creatures that are ancient and very strange, deep in this sort of like abyss of deep ocean type of thing. So just within this one space and the aquarium here, you can learn a lot about how unique environments like this also harbor unique forms of life. Very cool. Definitely recommend this spot. If you want to come here and enjoy some of the cultural history and information, there's lots of places too. Right here we're at the Genix house. There's a museum, gift shop, coffee shop, and information here. And just down the road, maybe about 10 minutes, at Lobster Head, there's a historical interpretation site there too, where they feature some information about shipwrecks along this coast. Really fantastic stories of history and survival, like the human survival in this area when it was first colonized with fishing people. There was no farming, no hospitals, no medicine. It was all fish, and that was it. And they set up little communities, building houses, building furniture themselves, doing everything themselves, and learning how to survive in a new world, basically. So really inspiring history here too. So while you're here, check out some of these places. It's really worth the stop and reading all the information. And just at the same stop we were at, it's a great spot for your Instagram picture. You can get your picture with snow in the background like this, but it's not really cold out here. That's far in the distance, and the tablelands have a different climate of their own. So the snow persists there a long time, even though here it's like you could sit down and have a picnic. It's really quite nice out. So just a little secret there for you. Stop and take a picture too. When you're out on your hikes, you'll see a few of these. These are a First Nations type of signal that other people were here. It's called an inukshuk. They're pretty easy to make, and you can build one yourself. You make two little legs, arms like this, and a head. So it gives it this like hominid kind of resemblance. So this is an inukshuk. You'll see them all over the place out on Gross Moran hiking trail and other hiking places here. And this one, it's part of we're just in a parking lot right now across from Bonnie Bay in Norris Point. So as you can see, they're a big thing in Canada. We like to try our best to honor the First Nations that lived here. And within Norris Point, there's archaeological evidence that First Nation people here were here 2500 BC. So long history here in Canada. We still have a long way of going to understand some of the origins here. The European settlement started to take place along this area by the French in the 1700s. And originally it was seasonal for fishing, and then people started to stay permanently. So in Canada, there's a long way to go for conciliation between the history of the First Nations and then colonization, but we're working at it. Something that's important in Canada, and we hope when you come that you'll learn a little bit about the First Nation people who were here first. The town beyond me is called Rocky Harbour. Rocky Harbour is sort of the touristic gateway to the northern peninsula on the west coast of Newfoundland. There's a visitor welcome center, multiple bed and breakfasts, hotels, restaurants. It's just down the road from Gross Moran hiking trail, which sounds a lot. It's synonymous with Gross Moran National Park. It's all kind of in the same area here. You can have interpretive guides for the history, culture here, as well as some of the outdoors activities. You can rent kayaks and go on zodiac tours, whale watching, try and find an iceberg. You can continue up the highway, which is called the Viking Trail, all the way to St. Anthony, which has an entirely different heritage. You can see Viking landing sites there, archaeological digs, people dressed in interpretive Viking gear and everything. So along this coast, if you fly into Deer Lake and drive up the Viking Trail about 1 hour, you get to here, Rocky Harbour, and you can spend a lot of time here. We talked a little about Gross Morn, Trout River, and Norris Point. It's all within the same vicinity. Very close, very convenient. We hiked up this little trail. It's a good spot. You can see out into the ocean on this side, see a view of Rocky Harbour behind us here. And if you want to access this trail, when you drive out of Rocky Harbour towards Lobster Head, there's a lighthouse at Lobster Head with some people in there who will give you a historical background and so on. Very nice location, right about in between. Just keep your eye on the side. There's a sign that says walking trail. It's only about 1 kilometer. You can walk up here, excellent view, beautiful spot to watch the sunset like we are now, and to see all of the mountains here. Still the snow on the tops. You know, there's a high altitude, so you get to the climates that allow it to still be, it's nice out right now. It's warm, it's about 15 degrees, but there's still snow up at the top of the mountain. So when you hike up Gross Morn, it's about an 8-hour hike, and you know, you get up pretty high, so you get snow at the top during this time of year. We're in early summer right now. So we haven't seen any whales or icebergs today, unfortunately. You don't know when they're gonna happen. There's been other days when I've just driven down the road here and you see tons of them. But you know, there's tons to do. Even if you don't see one thing, you can go out on a boat. You can talk to the local people and they'll point you in the right direction where you will find icebergs and whales and that kind of thing. Everyone's more than happy to help you out. Or if you want to hang around the village here, there's lots to do: theater, music, there's shops, artist galleries, really nice glass art, and local painters, people who make carvings out of the driftwood, all kinds of things. Even I've got a beautiful carving of some bones that were from a washed up whale skeleton, and there's a vertebrae carved into the face of the First Nations person. Beautiful, you know, like there's all kinds of things here. So really, it's an amazing spot. I love visiting this area of Newfoundland. So here you are, Rocky Harbour. You're in Rocky Harbour. Drive out towards the lighthouse at Lobster Cove, take the steps down, and enjoy a nice sunset in the intertidal habitat here. It's really cool, it's amazing. You can get so close to the ocean, it's almost disorienting. You lay on the rocks here and you feel like you're floating. You see out to the horizon. So far, it's a wonderful contrast because you can see so far, but also when you look up close at things, you see amazing different types of life. I always say, if you're not seeing something interesting, look closer. There's so much all around us. Just laying here, there's all kinds of little forms of life, sea vegetation, there's mussels in here, there's these, I saw a little crab just now, spiny sea urchins. There's like a little world down in here. If you can see in here, for instance, where I'm pointing now, there's a spiny sea urchin right there. There's little grasses and things. There's some polyps of early life, like the first primary stage of jellyfish polyps. You have various snails. Right here, this thing right here, I'm touching or just kind of gently tapping, is a sea star, like a a typical sea star that you everyone knows. There's some mussels. They're all alive too. You can see them filtering water. Totally amazing, like kind of cold water coral type of habitat. So I kind of, just looking in here, it's sort of like snorkeling. There's a whole world going on right here next to this giant ocean out there. And it's just amazing. Looking over beyond us here, you can see the shoreline, the lighthouse, Rocky Harbour over there, snow-capped mountains of Gross Mourne, tablelands. There's just so much here to see. And I hope you can come, I hope you take it all in. When you're here, look very closely, look at all the cool stuff that's here to see. And that concludes our little day trip to Rocky Harbour in western Newfoundland. As you can see, we're capping off our day with an awesome sunset here. The sky is on fire here, looking out at the beautiful blue ocean. My God, it's so nice here. If you have a chance, if you're in western Newfoundland, this is a great day trip. And if you like this content, if you want to learn more about tourism in Newfoundland, we post a video once a week. Give us a like, subscribe, and we'll make sure you keep informed with all kinds of cool travel ideas here in Newfoundland.